Hi, I'm Julie Holt from the PMC Studio. In this video, I'd like to take you through our new metal clay toolkit. We've worked really hard on this to make sure that it's a really complete kit, and so all it contains is everything that you will definitely work with when you're working with metal clay. Now, when you do go through it, one of the things that you'll notice is it doesn't include what we're calling creative equipment. So that's things like textures and cutters and gemstones. And it's all the things that are very personal to you. And quite often when you buy a kit with these things in, they're not to your taste. And so you end up not using them. And instead you find that you have to also spend the money on other things because there'll be other important tools not in the kit. So what we've tried to do is fix that by coming up with a really comprehensive toolkit where you will use everything in the box. And it's great for students if you're just starting out, if you're an instructor and you're kitting out your studio. Again, absolutely perfect all round. Let me take you through what's in the box. So first of all, you've got this lovely sturdy box, so a nice safe place to keep everything. If you're an instructor, these are great because if you've got multiple kits, then what you can do is stack them all away neatly, and everything's got its special place. You can just literally just hand a box out to the students or out to each student, and off you go. Inside the box itself, if I start off here, so this is the work mat. I'm just going to move that out of the way. So this is a silicone work mat, and as you can see, it's see-through. Now, one of the things that's great about this is that when you're working, sometimes you'll be working on a piece where you want to be able to sort of trace something, or you want a design reference that you can keep, close to hand and visible while you're working. So that's what this work mat does for you. And the wonderful thing about it is they're very easy to live with. You just wash it in warm, soapy water when you're done, and it's good as new. So there's your work mat. Also in the box, you've got 3 pieces of Teflon. And so this is pretty much enough for most people. We only put the work on the Teflon when it's wet. So we use it as a way of keeping the piece safe. We can pick up the Teflon and move it around to the dryer. So as soon as it's done, then you would take it off anyway. So 3 is usually enough per person. Excuse me. What else do we have? We have a nice set of diamond files. So 5 altogether. So all the different profiles. Got a triangle, round, square, half round and flat. We use these when the clay is dry. So we use them to refine the edges. We also use them to carve. So always good to have a good set of diamond files. Here, what we've got are 2 plastic pots, and one is a water pot, so you would have it on the side and you would use it to keep your brush clean and damp while you're working. And then the other one, what you do is you fill this little bottle with water, and you put 3 or 4 spritz of water into the cup, and then you can turn it upside down, and it's a clay keeper. So while you're working, rather than having to keep putting the clay in and out of the packet and handling it and drying it out, you can put any opened clay, you can just pop it under here, and because of the water that's been added to the cup, that will create this nice sort of damp environment. So it stops the clay from drying out, really useful. So that's those. And then here what we've got is our metal clay release. So this is our release balm that we make to our own recipe, all natural ingredients. It's made in the UK, and this will stop your clay from sticking to things and also keep your hands nice and soft, and smells good too. What else do we have? So we have let's put that back. We have our roller and spacers. So the spacers stop you from rolling the clay too thinly. These are 1 millimeter thick, which is the standard that we work to with the silver clays. And then we have a ruler. So if you're doing any precise work, then the ruler is going to help you measure and cut a straight edge. And on the subject of cutting, let me just find the cutter for you. So this is your cutting blade. Now these are intended as safety cutters, so it's not a sharp blade as such, but do be careful, because if you push your hands on the edges hard enough, then you can get like a paper cut, okay? So just be a little bit careful when you're working with them, but you can use those with the ruler to cut straight edges. And then other tools that we use when we're working with the clay, we have our brush. So we use this to clean the edges, and also it acts as a finger, you know, when you're working with the wet clay. Just one other thing to note as well is the bristle protector. That is brilliant for taking out a little circle of clay, you know, for hanging pieces. So make sure you use that. Clay shaper, so we use this when we're working with wet clay, so we can use it to join pieces. We can also use it to clean things as well. All right, this is your needle tool. And so what you can do with your needle tool is, if you're working with a stencil, you can basically make a paper stencil, and then you can use the needle tool to trace around the stencil and cut the clay out. And then here we've got some tweezers. So we use the tweezers when we're gem setting, and also if there's any delicate bits of dry clay that we want to pick up and position on our piece, then tweezers are what we use for that. And then here is a bit of sandpaper. This is a 600 grit, which is just right for the silver clays. And this is your snake roller. So we literally roll it along, and we use this to create like a very thin snake of clay that we would then form into embellishments or make into a bale. You make lots of snakes when you work with silver clay, or with metal clays in general. Now, let me just talk to you about the drill in particular, because it's not obvious if you haven't used one of these before. So this is called a pin vise, and if I just take the top off, okay, so you just unscrew it all the way, and you can see you've got this thing inside. This is called a collet, okay, and then if I do the same at the other end, there's another one, okay, so that's what it comprises of. It's this tube with your tops, or your two ends, and then it's got these collets. Now, when we hold the collets up, we can see that they've got a hole. So this one, quite a big hole, this one's slightly smaller, and then I flip it over, this one's smaller still, and then this one is the smallest. Now, each of these is designed to be the right size to hold a drill bit. Okay, so you've got 10 drill bits altogether in the kit. And if I just show you how this works. So I've got this drill bit here. This is about 1.5 millimeter, this one. So the drill bits range from 1 mil to 2.5. I think I'm just trying 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Sorry, 1 to 3 mil. So this is the 1.5. So what you would do is, when you've got your drill bit, you would basically be testing it to see which hole in which collet it works with. So this one, I can see that that goes into that one easily. Okay. So once you've found the right collet for it, what you would then do is pop it in, put the end over, and then tighten it up. Okay, and you want it to hold the drill bit firmly. Now that's gone in quite a bit. What I'm going to do is just pull it out a bit, and that's it. Okay, so my drill bit is now in there and secure. The other collet that you're not working with, pop it back in the tube. At least then you always know where it is. Okay, so just screw it on the top, and then that's it now. Your drill is loaded and ready to go. And the way that you would drill a hole is you would basically pop your piece of clay on your workblock, and then position the drill bit where you want it to be, where the hole is going to be, and then drill the hole. Okay, so that's how you work with all of that. And what else do we have? We have some finishing tools. So we have our brush. So this is a stainless steel brush, and we use this over the whole of the piece after firing, and it starts the polishing process. Okay, so when your piece comes out of firing, it's like white and it's quite rough. And what this brush does is it flattens the particles and starts bringing up the shine. Okay, so that's the stainless steel brush. And then we have a burnisher. After brushing, we then use the burnisher, rub it over the whole piece, and that brings it up to a nice shine. And last but not least, in the box, there's a leaflet here, and that is telling you all about our PMC certification program. So this is a great way to skill up and gain a certification. So learn all about PMC, learn lots of different techniques, and like I say, work towards certification. So that's it. I hope you enjoy using the kit as much as we've enjoyed putting it together for you.